Wait, are we still in investigation mode or is this the trial? No, apparently we're still in investigation mode. I forgot. I haven't played this in a hot minute. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello, hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? You should go home and get some rest. Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers. Your ladyship, how? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. Lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm as fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime, then? Do as you please. You know where it happened, through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank and Gina. Right. Well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the Yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. Come then, let us not waste any time. Oh, would you maybe do you move, physically move there? Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said. Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night, through the little window in the door. Mr. Windibank face down on the floor, with Gina beside him. As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene. We must make a thorough investigation. Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door. That's the real scene of the crime. But how would they not think of it suspicious that she's just laying there? Would she not try to get away after shooting the guy? Whatever. Don't worry. If there are clues in there, I'll find them. I mean, they could make the argument, like the two dudes that were there, they could make the argument that they were the ones that knocked her out and then fucked off and left. Maybe to go find the police. I don't know. They could use that excuse or whatever. Don't worry. If there are clues in there, I'll find them. Oh, okay, so we actually have to move. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely. Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windibank's life was taken in this very room only last night. Ah! Wait, Inspector. What is it now, sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer, do ya? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me, you were running away from a 10-year-old. I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector. Eh? Him. Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigating to do ourselves. Yeah, I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say. Oh, Hurley, and inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Pshaw, you got eyes, haven't you? Use them. It is what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Gregsy, what do you make of the crime scene here? Oh yes, your ladyship, do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to this storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, ma'am, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as humbly as possible. Oh. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious, and I'm afraid to say, she had the gun that was used in her hand. No. Presumably, it's the gun that's still down there on the floor. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom? And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he? Well, the thing is... Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well, out with it. Yes, ma'am. They use something called the general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, or so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my. No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes round again. The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. See, do I have anything to present? Oh yeah, do you know anything about this? No, he doesn't have an opinion about this cat photo. It was just a question. Out of all the articles in this storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any signs of being ransacked. Oh, what is it, Iris? That's the box file that had my manuscript was being kept in. Oh. Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely that's not what all of this. I'm sorry, but if you ask me, he sold it without telling you. We must check inside the box at once. Yes. Oh. It was there. Iris's story was there. Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Yes. I mean, of course I believe Hurley when he said he deposited it here, but still. It's a relief to actually see it. Really? Because that's not a very well hidden frown. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them. I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings. Look. Pieces of different people's lives quietly gathering dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policemen shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, sunshine. Did he read his mind? This is a revolver, a real one. And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windibank's life. What's the matter, Susie? You and Bruno look like you're about to faint. Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh. And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windibank with this yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, I shall have to take my own life. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, that was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand. Mr. Windibank told us he'd only ever had he'd only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun has been fired. So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line. Poor Mr. Windibank, he was a nice old man. Well, he was shot just once, through the heart. Most likely the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing. Aha! I may well be able to help with that. What? There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Bruno? Ooh, I have a feeling I'm not as bloodly minded as you, Iris. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see, when it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So, you need this. Oh no, what is that scary looking thing? Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet, but as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Oh, it's like ye old, like, luminol. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed. There, does it make sense now? Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see. Yes, how wonderful. The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color, so you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash. Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say, it's bleeding great. So, whose blood are we looking at then? This must be Mr. Windibank's blood. Yes, this is where he was shot, so there can't be any question of that. This could turn out to be a very valuable clue, so we simply must take a note of it. But do we try it on other things? Let's keep testing and adding the results of another blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have reagent left, sure. Oh, I guess you can't test other surfaces. Maybe because it's not so obvious. Iris? Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit. Yes, absolutely. Oh, that was it? Okay. Well, what else is there? What else is there? Do we have to check other surfaces for the stuff in this stuff? The Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Susato know the exact title of this unpublished story? I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. Okay, well there's no blood or anything on it. That's nice. Now look on the back of this print. There's something written on it. 13th February, 9 p.m. Article deposited. 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th April, 9 p.m. So this photographic print is a redemption ticket? For an article that was deposited 2 days prior to the incident on the omnibus, it would seem. Yes, a small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it? Perhaps it contains some valuable mementos? I can't help wondering. Presumably, Mr. McGilded never redeemed the article in question since he still had the ticket. So isn't it possible that the box is still present somewhere in the shop? Oh, yeah. If it's something McGilded deposited, we need to investigate. Oh, see, look, so smart. Check your evidence, guys. This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks like a little wagahai. I always thought that cats like to curl up inside under the heated kotatsu blanket when it snowed. And maybe British cats are different. British cats are built different. So is this new, like, whatever? Oh, maybe I can... Can I ask you, do you know anything about this? Oh, he actually said something. Oh god, what did he say? He said, Inspector, what do you make of this? What do we have here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, this is the ticket for Mr. McGilded's overcoat, the one that little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do ya? No, I didn't mean to. Bruno's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about then? If I might be so bold as to ask. This is a second ticket. A second one? It seems that Mr. McGilded in fact had another article in storage here at Windibank's. Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector. Oh good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilded's overcoat. You mean to tell me? Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilded deposited another article here with Mr. Windibank. Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it? Do you have any idea where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. It could be an important clue. Well, yeah, I suppose it could be. Please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go barking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline is already passed, hasn't it? Oh yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months. So, the small box will no longer be in here then? That's right. It's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale. Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. Oh, there are dozens of little boxes out there, hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger. Ugh. Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case. Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. Yes, this is where all the items that have been forfeited by their original owners are offered for sale. That's right. They've all got a little price labels on them, but there's so many. I wonder if the small box this ticket for is still on the shelf somewhere. The box that McGilded deposited here just over 2 months ago. Even if it were, finding it promises to be very troublesome indeed. There's so many boxes, it could be any one of them. Mr. Sholmes said they had a pawnbroker's was the safest place to store anything, more secure than a bank's vault. So perhaps this small box of Mr. McGilded's contains something of very great value. Well, if that's the case, he probably kept it locked. So then we need to find every box with a lock and break them all open. Hi-ya! That sort of misconduct would get you arrested. I won't let that happen. Ugh, this takes me back. It's been some time since Susato last threw me. Oh, I thought this one looked important. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I can get it closed again. Oh yes, that's a folding stereoscope. Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions, but for that he used the great big contraption over there. Oh, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself. I wonder if I can make money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. Oh, look over there. Oh, there's blood. Oh yes, a bullet hole, and I can see the bullet still lodged in the wall. Presumably, Mr. Windibank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Can we spray it? Whose blood is that? Oh, well... Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Sorry? It's all there, in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris? Did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once. Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar. Aha! This is where I come in. Oh, right. If the blood changes to be the same color as the sample from the storeroom, we'll know that it's Mr. Windibanks' blood. Exactly. Here we go then. Maybe this is the one that hit Mr. Sholmes? It's a completely different color to the color that Mr. Windibanks' blood turned in the analysis. It just goes to show, things don't always go according to plan, do they? Nevertheless, we must add this sample to the results of the other blood analysis. Okay, I'm pretty sure that should be Mr. Sholmes' blood, but... I mean, then again, he wasn't really bleeding. Okay, I mean, I guess that's important to add. Green blood. It just seems wrong somehow. Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. There are pretty pinks and purples too, you know. Like I said, everyone's blood is different. I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know. Oh, I thought we were gonna investigate. I guess we can't really investigate the bullet. The police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure, and even then we'll barely have scratched the surface. A crime in a pawnbroker's. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know, a crime in a pawnbroker's. Oh, that was like a thing for him. Oh, I already saw it. I missed the check mark. This is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think. When Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday, we were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. Hello, sir. Do you know where this box is? This police officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came in here. Just keep it down. Oh, sorry. There's a major clue just here. Really? We must tell Gregsy at once. But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over my shift. Oh, they really have a tough time, the British police. That doesn't stop us from investigating it though, does it? No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Oh, we already saw it, though. That's a music box. Do you have them where you're from, Runo? Yes, but I've only ever seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh, I've never seen one as large as this. Oh, well, this shall be a treat. Shall we have a listen? It sounds like the Atlantica theme from Kingdom Hearts. Like the second one. I don't know about the first one. I know the second one kind of had this, I don't know, like this floaty feeling one. What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. Oh, did I talk to this dude? No. Oh, this is a different guy. Yeah, the same guy. A different dude, same dialogue. There's an article ledger here in Mr. Windibank's notes and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Oh, look on the back. There's some writing. Is there? Ooh, show us, Susie. Show us. 15th February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited. 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th April, 10:30 p.m. A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1? Clearly, it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think... Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday, and is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. It seems Mr. Windibank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have on hand. But this photograph of a cat looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture from somewhere else recently. Oh yes, you're right, very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us that print. Well, what are you waiting for then? Get it out. Alright. Let the cogs turn. Yes, they are exactly the same. I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret. A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. Do you really want to know? Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Oh, I picked the wrong one. So, Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Windibank's counter, and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints? Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry? If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not? Have another look at them now. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Oh, well, it's because they're a set, you see. No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used at a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Oh, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word recently? Oh, yes. That's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. You see? There it is. Just over there. Yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch. Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. What? Really? Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon. Bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Have you ever considered, Bruno, how our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just opened them, and it works. But the reason it works is because we have two eyes. Two eyes. Shocking. If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, and what you see with your right eye, are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly, and in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see. My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in the prints? Yes, Bruno, you're beginning to understand. And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that? Yes, but As long as you have 2 images, 2 eyes, and 1 brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can? Really? Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Susato really loves this kind of thing. You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? Cross my eyes? I think I can. Watch me. Watch me and see if you can copy. Make your eyes do this. Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? There, how's that? Wonderful, now it's your turn, Bruno. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. Not exactly an easy task when 2 people are staring at you cross-eyed. Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints. Does that mean I have to do it myself, or is the game going to do it for me? Start by staring at 1 print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see 2 overlapping images like this. You try it now. I'm just going to have to give it a try, I suppose. The print split into 2 images for you. Now the next step. Oh, so it's making me do it too? Do I actually? Because I didn't do it then. It is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then try crossing your eyes again. Oh, it's so weird when I do it. They form a new single image in the center. Oh yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now. It looks so real. Oh, I could look at it all day. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt. Your turn, Bruno. Pretend you're looking through the 2... looking through the 2 pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Let's see if I can't do it. Will this actually work if I do it right now? It might not. I haven't crossed my eyes in a long ass time. Not since I was like a kid. Ugh, okay, wait. I think it actually worked. That's so weird. Ew, it does have that 3D effect. It actually does work. I don't think I like it, though. I don't think I like it. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the 2 images overlap exactly in the middle. Like this? Is it? Oh, it looks so weird. And it's like blurry. Maybe that's why. It's blurry to me. There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Bruno? They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here. Then set the pair of photographs on this stand in the back and... It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now. While London seems to agree with you, stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently. But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them. But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case. Stereoscopic pictures. I'd never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? It must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn. It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head if you ask me. But clearly Mr. Windibank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. Wait, but there's blood on this one, isn't there? So, hello, blood. Hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here. I have noticed. The red smear, you mean? Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if Susato had picked up on that. Well, in that case, yes, we need Iris. We should show this to her before we forget. Oh, like in the other room. Okay, I guess we just left her in the other room. Yeah, hold on, we need your help again. Oh, that looks like blood. I would say that's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather. Well, don't worry, Runo. You can leave the rest to me. Oh, this one's purple now. Look at that. Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. Could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point. Well, this particular stain of blood. Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is? How could I? We don't have a known sample of the same color. Without that, it's impossible to know. Oh, how very vexing. I wonder. What? Well, it's true that the color doesn't help us, but what about considering how the mark came to be there in the first place? You might have an idea about that, mightn't you? Not if you keep staring at me like that, no. Let's try that again, shall we? Well, this particular stain of blood. Oh! I don't have them in the fucking thing! Yeah, I have an idea. Not from the color return, but with a little deduction. That's right, I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well. Unless it comes up as like a multiple choice and not like an actual person, because he's not in my court record of people. Alright, I believe it's the— Oh, there you go. The Mason guy that got murdered. Thrice-fired Mason? You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there. Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And of course I never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though. Thrice-fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. But that would mean that this blood stain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windibank's yesterday. I'm suggesting that the blood stain was already on it at that time. So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. It certainly does look like a leather gloved thumbprint, this mark. We know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body, from which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. You sound just like Mr. Sholmes. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right, Runo. Very well. Let's make a note of this. Okay, what was the color? What was the color? It was like purple, wasn't it? Oh, did we do it? Ah, I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Windibank set up such a wicked trap? I doubt he's set out to scare anyone. Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon. Oh? Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Don't you remember? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer. Really? Did I say that? Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching. In that case, we better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. I like how it's just prison. It doesn't have a name. Oh, Gina, good. You're back. Wait, you're back? She had nowhere to go. Where is she gonna go? The police must have finished questioning. Oh, I guess, okay, she was there for questioning. Like, she went out for questioning. It's like, oh, like, she came back. Like, oh, yeah, you came back to prison. Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful? Huh? Oh, didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windibank's. Oh, right. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy. What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, that I did it. That's not... Gina, we came to ask you for your final decision. Huh? What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not? I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like him to represent you. Right. I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear. Oh, wow. It defaults to move. Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. So, come on then. Fill us in. Who done it? Unfortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime. And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Windibank's that night. It looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason and thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. Oh. Wait, I wanted to present. Oh, wait. Was it this? We found this in Mr. Windibank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story. Oh? Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Windibank showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night? Huh? and you were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened, please? We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother. Ginny, rip them up and chuck them, would ya? Them representation papers or whatever they're called. This cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. This is one stubborn pickpocket. Alright, yeah, this Baskerville story. It's the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured, it's gotta be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right? Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds. What? So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you? No, Ginny, how could you? What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I weren't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the mantle script or whatever you call it was really there or not. That's the only reason I went in the first place. For Iris's sake? Isn't that right? Oh, we knew why you done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it. Well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you'd said the night before. And grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bare-faced liars, the lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't at Windibanks. You'd soon seen it if you had a look. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you. Alright. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. It weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest? If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windibanks? It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got her dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last night, when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy? You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner? Well, that's how I see it, yeah. You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny. Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we? Look, give it a rest, will ya? I ate this chummy nonsense, do you hear? I ate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. 'Cause if you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, Scarper. I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains. What? Why are you looking at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now. Hello, ma'am. Can we spray it for blood? Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet. What? Your blood? You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So, could it be blood that's spattered from Mr. Windibank when he was shot last night? Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get results much faster than anything else. Eh? Take it easy, Iris. Don't move, Ginny. I'm going to shoot. Damn. Oh my. What the... Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now. And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've already collected. Yes, now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha! Yes, it was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago. I knew it. What? What are you all on about? The victim? What do you mean? It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Oi, would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half a story. We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGildett's overcoat. But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said that this in his testimony. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach or wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now? Was I reached out to give him a hand? But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Miss McGildet trying to pull the victim to his feet. No, if that was what really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over over McGildet's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGildet. That horrible case is solved at last, and I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen? Bruno, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGildet was innocent? I believed. Or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to, because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon. A weapon? Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. You mean Kazuma? Listen, Ryunosuke, we lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what's the truth and what's a lie, which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. What's funny, Gina? Sounds like in this empire of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft. Well, come on, look at the mess it's got you into, believing in that bog trotter. Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free. Well, at least you've learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. Soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one. Get hurt by no one. Gina, may I ask you something? What? I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away. Are you really sure that's what you want? I bet that's what he wants now. Wants and all now, Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely. Well, a lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. I trust her. 'Cause I mean, I don't think she did it. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial. Eh? Are you half-baked? Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth. Seriously? Mr. Naru Odo? Or Naro Odo? Didn't you hear all the words what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just rip off my tongue, and I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina, I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others, but I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize. What do you mean? The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Huh? It's true that I'm just a student of law and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience, but I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side. What? What do you expect me to say to that? Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. And do what you like. You Eastern lot are I don't know what you are. I don't get you. Gina's taking herself off to the back of her cell. She never admitted it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out alright in the end, I think. Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice. Miss Susato? Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before. What? Blimey, you're sharp, eh? I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Gregsy. Oh dear me, I am most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you. How long have you been listening in on our conversation? Good grief, listening in? No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all there is. Nothing outward. Nothing at all. After hours? Is it that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye-bye and bye. Just bye-bye-bye. That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. Oh, but I wanted to have a chat. I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute. Oh, I see. That's a shame. If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will... Well, emergency? Lord Strongheart? Nothing. Forget I said anything. Anyway, yeah, I'm off. Alright, Gregsy, if you have to, but let's chat soon. Delighted, charmed, can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere. Gregsy's so funny. He says such silly things. It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes. Yes, of course. Thank you, Miss Susato. Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later. And so our investigation came to an end. Susato went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day, and then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. It's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted. What about you? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested, all on the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. Wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow. One final task? It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. Oh, thought it was gonna continue. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Susato. It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts. I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something. And what would that be? It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets? And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live. That's so true. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it'll all become clear, that all the facets will be illuminated and I'll finally understand how everything fits together. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark. It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much. Sorry? I've what? Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant. Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning? Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yeah, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this. What is that? Some huge bundle of documents? It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. The McGilded case. Seems to me that this case of Mr. Windibanks' murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you. With everything else she's had to think about, she still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Susato. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Mr. Oh, Naruhodo. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Hey, Susato, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Oh, wait. There's something I need to say. Hiya! What was that? A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown. Shutdown. Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed and I fell into a deep sleep. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. My dear madam. But damn, this is long. Going through all this shit is long. Okay, but fine. We get to the actiony bits though. We get to the nice actiony bits.